You want Philly?
Yeah, let's do it.
It's easy to sum it up. We're talking about practice.
Because it's about as casual as it gets.
What's the problem now?
That's a clown question, bro.
I think we ought to send a beating at least.
World champions! Start playing with some jam in here. Let's go.
Philadelphia, looking as only you can look. Woo!
Here we go.
And good afternoon, everyone. Legitimately, good afternoon to the third episode of the Philly podcast on the Six Pack Coverage Network, presented by sixpackcoverage.com, La Terrain Watches, and themonkeysuncle.net. On today's episode, me and my co-host here, you can see Chris Lahiff, we will be talking about some of our favorite Eagles moments that happened during 2021. And I'm going to start off with my favorite one right now, which literally was breaking news this morning that
Betty White died.
Kirk Cousins is on the COVID list and will not be playing for Minnesota on Sunday. So,
as is Josh. What's his name? Antonio Gibson.
Oh, what is that? You sound like a kid.
Can you hear me?
I hear you, but you sound like all distorted and everything.
Oh boy, what about now? It's the same thing.
Oh, well. You may want to get rid of the microphone or something. Well, so like I was saying, while Chris is tending to his little technical difficulties, yes, for those wondering or who have not heard the news yet, seeing us live right now, we got word this morning that Kirk Cousins will not be playing in the game Sunday for the Minnesota Vikings, which has major implications for the Philadelphia Eagles and their playoff aspirations. I mean, the Eagles basically have to win against Washington, which you would hope is a guarantee because now Antonio Gibson is on the COVID list. He will not be playing, which makes it a little bit easier for the Eagles. But we literally have no legit starting quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings. And if they lose, the Eagles are, I believe, in after Minnesota loses. So how you doing there, Chris? You got your sound up?
I don't know. Does it sound the same?
Nope, same again. You sound like a chipmunk gurgling, water.
Oh my God. All right, I'll step back out and figure out what's going on.
Okay, you step on back out, buddy. All right, so if you're watching this live right now on the Six Pack Coverage Network YouTube page, the Philly podcast Twitter page, Facebook page, you're probably finding this news out right now. And if you didn't have, notifications on your Twitter earlier today, this is big news though for the Eagles, very big news. And the fact that we are hearing different things, I'm just excited now. I just can't believe now that that this could actually happen for the Eagles. They could actually make the playoffs because I was not a believer in this team to start the season. I had them at 4 wins. Chris had them a little higher than me. So if you can hear me, everyone here is saying that they hear you fine on their end. So it's got to be on my side somewhere. Can you hear me, Chris? Yeah, everyone's saying, like Darth Pooh over here, saying that it sounds fine on their end. And
okay.
Yeah, I mean, you still sound like a chipmunk to me. I don't know what's going on with it, but
I guess we'll find out when we download this video. I mean,
I guess so.
Who doesn't want to listen to Alvin, Simon, and Theodore? I get to play all 3.
Right.
So obviously you were talking about Kirk Cousins, non-vaccinated, being on the COVID list, which is just phenomenal. And then the backup quarterback who is apparently coming off the COVID list because he isn't vaccinated. So, but no, it's.
See, look, Richard Drummond just commented in. He goes, Alvin, you sound like one of the chipmunks.
Yeah,
So,
but
okay,
that could have been just me talking. I don't know, unless Darth Pooh's messing with me, because
I don't know.
If it is, oh well. I sound like a chipmunk today.
It's going to make for a fun show. Okay.
Right.
My co-host is not Chris Lahiff. It is Alvin from Alvin and Chipmunks.
I mean, like, hold on. Since it's 2021, and there's 9 hours left in the day, I'm toasting to Betty White.
Rest in peace, Betty White.
Like, seriously, 2021, you couldn't wait. Like, now death comes in threes. Does she count as two? Like, and like, because we had John Madden.
I don't
know.
know.
We're not restarting the stream. We are where we are. We're all in.
Yeah,
no, I appreciate the support, but I'm going all in. But cheers to Betty White.
But yeah, I mean, you're right though. Within what, 24 hours, John Madden and Betty White. So, I mean, she's what, 17? She was 17 days away from her 100th birthday. That sucks. That sucks.
It does. It's she didn't die in a skydiving accident, guys.
No, I'm sorry. Only John Madden died in a plane. Is that you said in the last show?
Yeah. He crashed his bike during Harley Week. So no, we're here to talk about some top plays that the Eagles made of the 2021 season. No particular order. It's just something that we threw together literally last second yesterday. So we're gonna go with a miss. We're gonna go with a miss. Obviously, we all know that Jalen Hurts has had his struggles, and here's one of them.
About how hard it is for Jalen Hurts to read it down here. Dallas Goedert is wide open. He can't.
Even the cameraman was like, "He's open. Throw it to him."
Yeah, I mean that play right there. I mean that play right there shows me, that obviously there's things that Hurts needs to work on with seeing the full field and everything like that. I'm not going to trash him. I mean, that was just a plain out miss. For the people that are calling the man Jesus. For those of you that'll be listening on the podcast tomorrow, someone put up on our chat board, Betty White, she died filming stunts on John Wick 4. Keanu broke her hip.
So the unwarranted laughing is just me laughing at that comment.
Yeah, I mean, if you're listening on our podcast, it'll be out tomorrow. You hear Chris just suddenly bust out laughing. It's because he's reading comments.
Right. So we're not here like ripping. We're just talking about top plays that were missed. Top plays that weren't made. Like, here's another one.
From the 34 on first down. Fires downfield, and it is nearly picked off. Darius Slay had it and dropped it.
Yeah, that was a big one. I mean, big play Slay. He, and the sun got in his eyes apparently. And I mean, that was a dead to rights interception. And
he might have been gone.
Yeah. He might have been going back the other way. That could have been a pick six.
Right. And, with looking at that, when you just see like how bad he dropped it, he brings out this guy.
And was assisting people down. My man just started throwing babies out the window. We was catching them, unlike Aguilar and his mishaps. I like to put that out there.
That clip will never get old.
No, that's a clip that will, for now on, that's going to be our clip when we're like, when we just want to respond to someone, like, because every other video clip that we'll delete. Nah, you're right, Richard. He's got to catch that, no question. That was, it didn't bite him. That play didn't hurt him in the end. So that's always good. That play didn't come out and hurt the Eagles. It could have been terrible. At the end of the day, it didn't. So, but I sent you over a bunch of videos. So, what do you have any specific plays that maybe I didn't put on here that I missed?
No, I don't have any specific ones. I mean, like I liked everything that you sent over. But I'm going to jump to literally what is my favorite play of the year. So to date,
I see
because
you
I was
trying
just
not.
so happy for the guy.
I see you trying not to laugh.
Well, 'cause I'm not trying to read them when I'm, my favorite clip so far is this one of Lane Johnson scoring a touchdown after everything the guy's been through.
That'd be a big blow. 2 running backs out. Off the fake to Boston Scott to the end zone. Touchdown, Lane Johnson. The right tackle.
So I mean, that to me is my favorite clip of the season so far. I mean, after everything that he's gone through, how he missed some time, due to like some personal reasons. I was just that made me feel happy for him. And then that told me right there, like if Lane Johnson is scoring a touchdown, this team is definitely making the playoffs.
Yeah, that's a good sign. Yeah, we all know. We all know like what Lane Johnson went through this year, and there was speculation that he was in there for painkillers. That's what TMZ unofficially reported. But cheers to Lane Johnson's touchdown. I know I did it the other night, but I'm gonna keep drinking.
Yeah, I didn't have time to pour myself a drink. I was running around. I was like, I gotta get on the show.
Yeah, you know what I literally just did? You know what I just got done doing since 9 a.m. today? I just got done watching Cobra Kai.
You what?
I just got done watching Cobra Kai.
Cobra Kai?
I got up at 9 o'clock and watched Cobra Kai, and I literally just got done.
Which season? The last one so far?
No, the new one. The new one. Came out today.
I didn't even know the new one was out yet.
It came out at 3 a.m. last night.
Oh, well, when we get off
I was, you know what? I had forgotten about it, but I had stayed up last night and I watched Don't Look Up with Leonardo DiCaprio and Jennifer Lawrence.
Okay.
It's okay. It's right. Okay. Like it's the king of one-liners.
Okay.
Richard, you're gonna like it. I think season 3 was the best one of Cobra Kai. This was maybe if I didn't binge watch it, I would have appreciated it more, but I couldn't go.
Yeah, I've watched them all. Like I started watching it when it was first on YouTube TV when it first came out. Like season 1 was on YouTube TV, and then it went over to Netflix.
Yeah.
So I have to start watching season 4.
I took the free 28-day subscription for to test out the trial.
Gotcha.
And I watched it all, and I was like, well
actually, right before we got on air, I watched the first episode of the Book of Boba Fett. Loved it.
Was it okay? I'll watch it. I'm finishing up Hawkeye. Pretty soon, Obi-Wan will be out, so. Maybe we can do a geeky podcast for that stuff because I am a Star Wars nerd.
Sounds good to me.
But back to the Eagles. We the big game coming up. We have everyone stepping up. You got to think about how important the beginning of this season was to where they were and how it could have bit them in the ass. Because if you think about it. A lot of players, not that a lot of players, but there's a lot of talk about the vaccine and how it's going to affect people. Now it can affect teams. We saw it run rampant through the Washington football team a couple weeks ago. Washington was down 15 players. I think 6 of them were starters. I think it was 3 on offense, 2 on defense, and 1 special teamers.
Mm-hmm.
And you saw how important it was. It ran to that. And now you look, Carson Wentz is now out because he didn't get the vaccine. And I don't know if in the end he's got it. And our draft pick's set. So, I hope they lose out. Officially, I hope they lose out. This is at the point in my season where, all right, the Eagles have a chance to make the playoffs. All the Jalen Hurts haters, there's no reason to root for Carson Wentz right now. Root for that pick.
Yeah,
and I'm segueing into this because we saw what Carson Wentz did in 2019. We did. We saw what he did. With the Greg Wards and the Richard Perkins. And then, you saw Hurts had the same weapons last year, and he struggled mightily. And then, you look at him 14 games here, and he did this.
Jalen Reagor's most effective. Hurts on the run, the throw for the end zone. It is caught. Greg Ward. What a catch.
I don't know how he made that throw to begin with on both sides, like on the Carson Wentz. That's why I put it up side by side. And you know what? I'm thinking of the Miles Sanders, but that was still a great throw that he threw to Greg Ward to win the game. We were there. We were at the game.
Right. Yeah.
So, and then, that throw to Greg Ward against Washington, I don't know how he made it. I was at the game and I was like, he caught that. I don't know how.
Yeah.
It was
side by side of Greg Ward catching those two passes from two different quarterbacks is really cool because I like. You see Jalen Hurts at the bottom of the screen. He's on the move, running to his right, and he throws a bullet. And then the top portion of the screen, you see Carson Wentz
moving
running
to his left.
Well, it was left, but backwards off his back foot.
Yes.
He was moving backwards, and he floats the ball in there, and Greg Ward somehow catches it.
Well, that goes to, as crazy as it's going to sound, it's going to go to his height,
right?
Because I don't think a smaller quarterback can do that.
Right.
Because obviously he's got more arm strength, even though it was only like a couple yards. But when you gotta all he had to do was just put it over the guy's head. Hurts had to hit that dude where if either you or the pylon was going to hit it. That was it, and that's what makes that throw so great.
Yeah.
And considering 4 weeks ago I was ripping Hurts.
Yeah, I mean that throw by Jalen Hurts was probably one of the best ones we've seen him throw all season. He He on the move threw that ball directly over the shoulder of Greg Ward, and he was able to make that catch. The throw that Hurts made was amazing.
Nah, and Rich hits it right on the point. Sirianni's he's using Dallas Goedert, he's using Devontae Smith, and we all know how Devontae Smith is, and we all know what he brings to the table. But now with Devontae Smith, teams are starting to realize him. It's going to lead to plays like.
Ooh, nice catch, Jalen Reagor.
I mean that right there, the fact that Reagor caught that, I'm
in between two defenders. Two
defenders. That was a great throw. And with the season that Jalen Reagor is having, he needed that catch.
Cheers to Jalen Reagor.
Cheers, Jalen Reagor. He literally needed to make a play like that. And that was great. That's only going to help him.
But he's been making plays since the drops. Let's be realistic. As bad as Jalen Hurts was that day, and I know if Jalen Reagor makes those catches, that's fine. But as bad as Jalen Reagor was that day, he's been so much better, and our fan base continually boos him. Get over it. We're literally one game away from making the playoffs if two things happen, which are very likely looks like Jimmy Garoppolo is playing, by the way, against the Texans.
Right.
So he's on point. And then obviously Kirk Cousins isn't out, and Aaron Rodgers is going to throw for 400 yards and 4 touchdowns because I have him in fantasy. So I ran a 3-team parlay. That's not a lot of money. I took the Eagles money line, I took the Niners money line, and I took the Packers money line. It's not a lot, but you go out, and that's how confident I am.
Right. Well, you know what? This comment is really right on. Richard Drummond, he writes down, Hurts throwing the ball 15, 20 times a game helps him improve tremendously, which it really does. It's not he doesn't have to throw the ball 30, 40 times a game, which they had him doing way too much at the beginning of the season. Those first 6 games had everybody thinking this kid was going to be, they totally made a huge mistake with the quarterback situation. But once Sirianni figured out a better way to use him, to go with his strengths, with the running the ball, and I was just happy. Everything's changed. It's all good. I like this comment too by Richard. Still, Reagor makes really poor decisions on punt returns, which makes him nervous. So,
but you see, here's the thing: you got to go on Twitter, you got to go on Facebook and follow Dexter Wynn. He's a former NFL corner, and you go north to south, and that's what he did. and he still got 39 yards. Should he have went left against the Giants instead of right? Yeah. But let's go out there and do it yourself. Like that's. I'm not saying anything towards Richard Drummond. I'm saying people who are legitimately ripping Jalen Reagor because he's Jalen Reagor and not Justin Jefferson.
Right.
Like that's the people I'm talking about. I'm not talking to Richard Drummond.
It's like we've talked about before. He's always going to get ripped apart now because he's not Justin Jefferson, and everyone's just going to always compare those two together.
Right, and that's the same thing they did with the Freddie Mitchells of the 2000. And out of that entire wide receiving class, only one won a Super Bowl. One, and it was Reggie Wayne, and he had the best quarterback of all time. So or top 5. So I hate the comparison with and I get it, and listen, I'm better. I'm not going to sit there and not lie. Like, yeah, I wish I would have Justin Jefferson, but would we be as successful as we would be? Would they be throwing the ball 45 times a game instead of using the Miles Sanders, the Jordan Howards, the Boston Scotts? Like, can we just talk about Boston Scott? That dude only play him against the Giants. That's it. Bring no other running back in and just let him play against the Giants. He's got 12 NFL touchdowns in his career. Yeah. 8 of them are against the Giants. 8. Like, at what point do you just shoot him in the face like the last Boy Scout? like, come on, stop. Like, I'm like, I would just triple coverage him if that was me, because I'm tired of it. Yeah, he's right. Same as DK and JJ. It'll always be compared. Yeah. Well, you know what? No, JJ stinks. Like, I'm not even. I give Howie a pass on that, but at least Jalen Reagor is contributing to the Eagles' success these last 6 to 7 weeks. With the punt returns, with the catches, like, and then you this is what I like to see. They're having fun. They're playing a game, and then you turn around and you see it, and then you see this.
Oh yeah, but
like for anyone wondering, it was Darius Slay.
Yeah, sorry
the whole Washington defense. Yes. Focused on him, like.
Yeah. Sorry for the people that will be listening on the podcast. That video had no sound to it.
Yeah, it definitely didn't.
It was Darius Slay running around basically in the backfield, while they wound up doing a running play.
Right.
It was
just telling where they were. Yeah, what's that? Right. I was saying, you looked at Washington; they all focused on him. Like, what? He's what?
Yeah.
So. But back to what he was saying, the same as JJ and DK. But you know what? What does DK won? He said one. I mean, he hasn't won anything in 3 years either. Like, again, I'm not saying DK Metcalf. Was a lot of teams passed on DK Metcalf. Let's get that out of the way. A lot of teams passed on him. I thought the dude was way too big. Like, if you saw his when he, I think where'd he go? Mississippi State, maybe.
I think so.
Ole Miss. He was too big to be a wide receiver. Yeah. let's be realistic. Like, but he's coming out and he's proven that he's good, and he's had a bad season this year. Seattle hasn't been this great and mighty team. Is the Pete Carroll era over? Is the Russell Wilson era over? Like, what's going on?
I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be Russell Wilson. I think he wants out. It'll be interesting to see where he's going to go, because there's a lot of quarterbacks that are going to be on the move this year. Ben Roethlisberger may very well be playing his last few games, because he's already come out and said that, hinted that Monday night's game may be his last game at Heinz Field. Aaron Rodgers is even hinting at retiring now. So I mean, there's going to be quarterbacks on the move, whether they're retiring, going to become free agents, going to get traded. It's going to be an interesting offseason for the quarterback in the NFL. It really is.
Yeah, DK Metcalf averages 7 targets a game and only averages 4.5 catches a game.
What happened to him?
I mean, he still got 9 touchdowns, but it's when you get figured out, and I'm sure he'll work on his game plan, 2022. But what's going on there? 7 targets a game.
Yeah, That's not good. That's definitely not good. I mean, considering where he was last year, and now you got this year. He's only like 7 targets a game. That's for Metcalf. That is not good at all. But I don't know. I don't know. I'm one of those guys where I'm still on the fence about whether a team should whether the Eagles should draft a quarterback, or I'm not so sure about going out and trading for one. No, and Darth Pooh was right. A lot of teams, just saying that's funny, but a lot of teams are looking for the next Patrick Mahomes. They really are, and there's only one next Patrick Mahomes, and it's Justin Herbert, and he's on a team already. So it's that. I mean, that's the closest you're going to get to Patrick Mahomes. I don't think anyone else is going to be with the athleticism and the full package of how he plays the game. So, but
I know we had this conversation earlier in the year, and you and our old co-host disagreed. But you don't think Josh Allen is anywhere near Justin Herbert? And
no, I'm talking about the full game, the athleticism and everything. Like I'm even looking at comparison body wise. You know, it's like now Josh.
Okay, I'll give you that. Josh Allen is he reminds me of Dante Culpepper, but faster.
Yeah,
okay.
Josh Allen's a beast. I'm not taking anything away from him, but I mean, the next Dak, whatever. Please.
That's our buddy Ryan. He refuses real quick. He refuses to accept that Betty White has passed away. He refuses. He says, I'm not clicking on a link. If you click on a link, it doesn't happen.
Did he thank her for being a friend?
Yeah, he refuses. He's like, I'm not clicking the link. He's like, don't trust Eagles fans. They're liars.
and you know what? This is another good comment by Rich Drummond. You know, even as good as Mahomes is, Super Bowl last season shows you need an offensive line, which it was the honest truth, because in that Super Bowl last year, Mahomes was running around hurt. He was not able to, get set and do what he needed to do. He had no time to do anything. So he was getting bum rushed the entire game. The offensive line was totally breaking down on him. Like I said, he was already playing hurt, and it exposed him in that game. I mean, with the injury and the lack of an offensive line, and which was very strange for an Andy Reid team. He
went back to the old Andy Reid.
A couple injuries.
Yeah, he went back. He went back to the old Andy Reid and didn't make adjustments.
Right.
Like you were down your top 2 alignment, and you're like, I got Patrick Mahomes. No, that clearly showed like what they didn't score a touchdown. It's not even that they didn't score. They scored 9 points. They were all field goals. That's how bad that offensive line was.
Right.
And our offensive linemen are catching touchdowns.
No, I absolutely agree.
So I'm gonna go to another one of my favorite plays. This is right around where I started buying into Jalen Hurts, and I started to give him credit. And the next week he just crapped the bed. But he scored 3 touchdowns this day. He might have 4, but he definitely scored 3 on the ground. We got this from our Canadian friend Dwayne Allison, and here it is.
Awesome.
So I don't know if people remember that play. He destroyed whatever New Orleans Saints lineman's knees because he just tiptoed around them and made them look silly. So, and we got that from Dwayne Allison. That'll probably be the last time we play that on this show because we're starting to run a memory on our show. But that's like kind of like when the season started to turn around, and they ran the ball. He scored 3 times. He read the RPO perfectly. Like he was starting to come around in his way.
Yeah, I mean, he really did. I mean, and if you go back and look at the stats, like, Hurts had 3 rushing touchdowns on the day against, at the time, is what considered the best rushing defense in the league. And they made them look like fools. Now you go and you look at his passing stats. I mean, there was his yardage numbers weren't there, but he didn't have to throw. They were just controlling the game on the ground, so there was no reason to really throw the ball. But no, you're right. That was the game where the season turned around. I mean, when you're able to do what they did against the Saints at the time with the number one rushing defense, you've awakened a new game plan. Now you're seeing a whole bunch of different options and a bunch of different looks, and you go from having a starting running back and a backup running back to a third running back, which is your quarterback, and you have a three-headed monster in the backfield, basically. So I give Sirianni a lot of credit for changing up his game style after that game. Well, during that game and then after, he stuck with it.
Yeah, I mean, he threw for 24 times that game. He only completed 13 passes for 147 yards, which, all right, whatever. But he ran 18 times. Like, I don't want to see my quarterback running 18 times. Like,
no, I don't either. Here's the thing that a lot of people are forgetting. Like, yes, is it exciting when your quarterback is all over the place and he's running and making plays and making people miss, like we saw in that video, for the third of his 3 touchdowns against the Saints. But at some point, it's just always going to happen. It'll catch up to you somewhere down the line, and you're risking your quarterback getting hurt. That's the thing that I don't like, because now last week we saw Jalen Hurts. He put it together. He hasn't been the same since his ankle injury, and he didn't run that much, but last week he was passing more, which I am a fan of a pocket passer. I'm a fan of a traditional quarterback who can stay in the pocket, read the defense, have that good awareness, and throw the ball, get it out, and move downfield. He did that last week, and I was ecstatic about it. I absolutely loved it, and I said with that kind of a throwing ability, with his mobile ability, now you have the makings of a superstar. Now you're starting to see what this guy can do, and I'm really hoping that he saw what he could do and moves forward with it. So
no, I'm with you 100%. We're going to go back to where I killed him all season long. When last year and this year, and I came around. There's still some people out there who won't give this guy any credit, and I don't know what else needs to be said or done. Because you don't like him, you're just not gonna root for him, or your team. You're gonna root against the previous quarterback who's not playing this week. Who you're saying, I hope they win the Super Bowl. I'm like, what sense does that make?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't at all.
It'd be one thing if you were bitter, and the Eagles were 3-13 or 3. If they were 3-12, like USA Today had predicted, and then you wanted to root against, you were rooting for Indianapolis. Okay, I'll give you that. I will give you that. But to just sit there and not root for your team because he's your quarterback isn't playing is stupidity at its finest. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, no, I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. And this goes down to what I literally was just talking about. Richard Drummond. Eventually, you keep running, you're going to get a devastating injury. That's the thing that scares me with Jalen Hurts right now. If they keep running the ball the way they have been with him, then what's going to happen if he does suffer a major injury or messes up his ankle again? Like this time, maybe a little bit worse, because even though he was a full participant in practice this week or yesterday, I mean, he takes one hit, someone rolls up on that ankle, you're right back to where you were a couple of weeks ago. The guy's going to come hopping off the field or worse. So, and you know what? Richard Drummond has a comment here. Says, I'll admit I had him 5-12, so I was totally wrong. I had them at 4-13. I did not give them any chance whatsoever. So
I had them at about 7 wins.
Yeah,
8
you
wins.
had them.
I thought their defense was too good. Not that it was too good, but there was so much talent on there. And think about this right now. Think about they're sitting at 9-7 or 8-7. Think about how much better they would be defensively. if Brandon Graham doesn't go out the second week of the season with an Achilles injury,
a lot of people forgot about him already because he hasn't been there all year.
And they've been winning games, so you have to think, and you got to think he's there as a voice. He's in there giving those pep talks like that every team, not that every team needs, but you had him at 4 wins, you had him at 5 wins, and you're not wrong for having him at that win total because you weren't confident in Jalen Hurts, and there's nothing wrong with that, But when you look at the top 40 list that somebody tried to troll us with last week, you kind of saw why, and now you got to figure if Chris Sims comes out with another top 40 list.
Right.
Where does he put Hurts? Does he put Hurts in the top 20? Does he put him in the top 15? I think if the list were to be done after this weekend and they win and they make the playoffs, I got to think he makes the top 15.
Right.
My wish is for them to make the playoffs this weekend. Rest whoever you need to. It is what it is. And then play Dallas in the wild card game and beat Dallas.
That would be awesome. That would be absolutely amazing if that happened.
The Dallas fans would disappear, with the exception of like 3 of them.
Well, there'd be a couple that wouldn't go away just because that's who they are. But yeah, I do like the idea. Any chance you get to beat Dallas, it's amazing. All right, and like we spoke about this on the show on Monday night. This whole Kirk Cousins thing is a godsend to me, if you ask me, because I didn't want the scenario coming down to we had to play Dallas to win and be in, because everyone's like, oh, Dallas has already got it. They're going to sit their people. No, they wouldn't. Jerry Jones is not going to allow the Philadelphia Eagles to get into the playoffs, or he's going to do what he can to not allow the Eagles to get into the playoffs under his watch. He just won't. And I could see him say, okay, McCarthy, go out there, try and run up the score as much as you can in that first half, and then start sitting your players and make the Eagles beat you through the air. But this whole thing I'm ecstatic about. I hate to say, the guy's on the COVID list, but I'm ecstatic that he's out. And now Antonio Gibson isn't going to be playing against the Eagles. So I'm just amazed that we're at this level, at this point in the season, talking that the Eagles could actually make the playoffs. I'm just really, really ecstatic about it. Considering where we were all year, $30 million in dead cap that you couldn't spend. This is what they're going to be, or this is what we thought they were going to be, and look where we're at. Like, it's an exciting time to be an Eagles football fan. I'm so excited for it. I really am.
I'm so excited. I wish I had the Jesse Spanier Saved by the Bell clip.
Oh, God, no.
But no, you're right. You can't, and you got to think. Look at the future. Look at what the future holds for us. Like, here we go. Here's what the future holds for us. And that wasn't even the next clip I'm going to play. But, you look at that, that was a Hurts catch, guys, who will be listening to the podcast on Apple.
Ryan, who grew up in South Jersey, watching this rivalry, 2nd down and 10. Hurts fires downfield, looking for Smith. He's got it. Devontae Smith makes the catch and is marked down.
He's a legit number 1 wide receiver.
Right. And when Giants fans say they don't want him,
and was assisting people down, my man just started throwing babies out the window. We was catching them, unlike Aguilar and his mishaps. I like to put that out there. And
it was just the face. I didn't want the whole video, but the face where he was like, "Yeah, Giants fans didn't want, yeah, and I want to pay taxes. Get the hell out of here. You didn't want him."
That's so funny.
So unless you got anything else you want to add, I think that's all the clips we played. Oh no, we got one more.
You got one more, so go for it.
We got one more, and he's only He's in the talks of people who have scored touchdowns on defense, linebackers wise, with Steph Joyner, Jeremiah Trotter. I forget who the other one was.
Lennon's pass picked off, and it's Alex Singleton who takes it all the way.
I mean, look. I love that play because there's nothing better than a pick six. There really isn't. There's nothing better than a pick six on defense.
It's probably one of the most exciting plays in football, other than a punt return.
Yeah, but I'm also not going overboard with the Chris Singleton love because we all know what he is. Okay, we all know what he is. And I was talking to people this morning where someone got very upset that another Eagles fan called Chris Singleton trash.
It's Alex Singleton.
Well, no, it wasn't a Dallas fan. It was an Eagles fan and an Eagles.
No, it's Alex Singleton, not Chris Singleton.
Oh, whatever. Who cares? He's
that's how good he is at linebacker. But no, you're right. Like you are 100% right. Like let's not act like this dude's Micah Parsons.
Yeah. I mean, look, and that's the other thing. Everyone every year keeps saying, "Oh, they need to draft a linebacker. They need to draft a linebacker," but they never do. They don't believe in linebackers. Okay, now they basically hit the nail on the head. Not hit the nail on the head, but they have a good. Yeah, Rich, I see what you're saying. They need linebackers desperately, but for how many years have we been saying that? And how many years have they not, under Howie Roseman, drafted a linebacker? So all this talk about, we have to draft, they look for people like Singleton and Edwards in the draft. They were never going to try and draft Micah Parsons. Absolutely never going to do it. They're not going to put that kind of money out at that position. They're just not. Howie has that reputation. That's his MO. He just doesn't do it. So when everyone says, they need to draft a linebacker, well, you know what? They will, but it's going to be around 4, 5, 6. It's not going to be in the top 3. Definitely never in the first. Never. It'll be a cold day in hell. I'm just tired of hearing, they have to draft a linebacker because it's the same thing every year and it never happens. So if you know it's not going to happen, don't keep saying it. Maybe if we don't say it, they will do
it. We'll do reverse psychology.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of get annoyed because it's the same thing every year come draft time. Well, they need a linebacker. Okay, yeah, we know that. They need a linebacker. But for what Gannon's done when he's turned his season around as a coach, his game planning for a defensive coordinator, what he's getting out of Singleton, I mean, I am impressed with it. Like he was on track to have one of the worst years as a linebacker in football's history. And I'm not saying he turned his season around, but he's getting better production out of Singleton with the packages that he's got him in. He's putting him in better positions to be effective, not be a game changer, but he's putting him in better positions to be effective for what the team needs him to do. And
breaking news, the Mummers Parade got postponed to January 2nd.
What's that?
The Mummers Parade got postponed to January 2nd.
Oh, it got postponed today.
Till January 2nd. I just got the alert.
So, according to the mayor of Philadelphia, the COVID's going to be gone on the 2nd, and they can now have this parade?
No, it's
let's not have it because of COVID reasons on the 1st. Let's wait till the 2nd. Yay! Watch a whole bunch of guys dress up as women running around in the streets. Awesome.
I love you.
I hate the Mummers. I can't stand the Mummers. One of the worst things ever. I hate them. Oh, the Mummers are trash. That's what I was going to say. They're trash.
Wow. I thought I had disdain for the Mummers.
Well, I just hate parades, and then you throw in a bunch of guys playing music and dressing up in girdles and stuff. No, I'm done.
Yeah, so that gets delayed. What else is there? We got the college football game starting 16 minutes ago. So Who do you think? Do you have any predictions?
No, dude, today was just a day of I'm watching movies all day. I'm not. This was the only thing I'm doing with sports, other than occasionally scrolling through Twitter and sharing stuff on our feeds. I literally am vegging out. I'm not doing nothing. I'm not even going anywhere tonight for New Year's Eve. I'm staying in. I'm not even going to watch this stupid ball drop. I'm not doing none of that. I'm waking up tomorrow morning as any other day. It's just the start of 2022.
All right, give me one. I want to see something real quick. So, want to see if it's there. And then obviously we had
the last time before we took that break, it was at 1:58. Now it's 2 minutes.
Yeah, and if that official's going to stop it, he has to stop it before it's snapped.
Warning occurred before the ball was snapped. Therefore, it's fourth down.
I don't believe that. I mean, the official didn't signal the 2-minute warning until after the ball was snapped. If the ball snapped, you don't stop the play for the 2-minute warning. I'm still surprised the Cowboys are going for it again. I think that was a bad call the first time they did it. I think it's a bad call now.
It's fourth, and it's still a foot. Emmitt Smith is still deep with Darrell Johnston in front of him. Same play. Didn't get it again.
That's unbelievable. This is unbelievable.
Madden was so mad at the Cowboys.
Oh, he was even mad at the officials. He was so mad. I love John Madden, so I had to show a little John Madden love before we signed off with the Eagles. You know, everyone loves the Merrill Reese call on that play, but you know, you when you actually go back and listen to John Madden and the football knowledge that he has, you're like, Jesus, he really knew his stuff.
Yeah, I mean, for a guy that didn't want to get into broadcasting, he was damn good at it.
Cheers to Madden.
Cheers to Madden. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you watched all Madden on Christmas Day. Well,
I will.
It's on Peacock, so if you go and check it out, it was awesome. It talks about his early days. You know, it talks about him with you know, when he got drafted. You know, but he went into coaching, took him through his everything. It was just so much fun to watch, and yeah, he did not want to be a broadcaster. He didn't want to do it at all. And he just did a couple of games. I think they said did a handful of games with Bob Costas, who was just starting out himself, and he was like, "Okay, I can get into this," and he had a lot of fun doing it. And then the rest was history.
All right, I'm going to share one more video. These last two videos I've shared, Eric has no idea, so hold on. You might appreciate this one.
Oh boy. Oh boy, what's he got going on? What's he cooking up over here?
Now trying to stop a 4th and 26, and the Nets take over. Plenty of time. Down the middle is Mitchell. Where will they spot him? They're going to get forward progress.
Down the seam. There's no reason to play underneath
His side of the line of scrimmage. That's an encroachment penalty.
Love it.
It's enforced before the ball is snapped.
Yeah, you got to get a little. We talked about Freddie Mitchell earlier on the show, so I went on to our Philly podcast on TikTok and brought those videos up.
Well, the funny thing is, like I was telling you, that was actually my original name for our podcast before the Philly podcast. I was actually going to say, let's call it the 4th and 26. And somehow, I guess just because of the whole Super Bowl thing, I was like, let's make it the Philly podcast.
Cheers to 4th and 26 and the Philly podcast, and Eric's got the naming rights.
Okay, I'll pretend that this Deer Park is actually vodka. So we'll do that.
You're an animal.
That's it.
So, all right, guys, that's it. That's our show. Our third show, our third official show for the six-pack coverage. What a way to end the year, you know, highlighting, you know, some top plays and some goofs. You know, we had fun today, you know, thanks to Richard and everyone else, Darth Pooh, Ryan, for commenting. And hopefully we'll be back here Monday discussing this. Although I got to be in work really early on Monday, and I'm looking at like a 10-hour day. So
6 a.m. start? Yeah, that's a long day.
So, we'll see, but you'll be in, I'll be in before you, and that's saying a lot because you're in at 6. But no, cheers to an Eagles win. Cheers to a happy new year. Everyone have a safe and happy new year. Healthy happy new year. Don't drink and drive. Don't be an idiot. But I'm just going to. And 2020 and 21, knock it off. You took Betty White. There's literally, how else can you hurt me? This is when you riot. When you take Betty White and John Madden in less than 4 days, this is when you riot. You cannot click on the link, the story of Betty White passing. Just because you don't click on it doesn't mean it didn't happen.
Exactly.
It happened. And I thought my wife was literally going to cry. She's like, no. So real quick story before I head out and turn it over to Eric. She looks at her phone and she's like, no, it didn't happen. I'm like, I already know. I didn't even look at my phone. I was like, you're lying. No. I'm not looking it up. No, it didn't happen. And then 2021 takes this Betty White, because they say death comes in 3. So I'm assuming Betty White counts as 2 because she's awesome. She's on the same equivalent scale as Santa Claus. She's up there. She's a legend.
She almost became a mythical character.
She's a god.
Almost did.
She's a goddamn legend.
She is.
She's up there eating pie with the Golden Girls and drinking coffee.
Yep, they're sitting around that kitchen table. Here you go.
But she was a smoke bomb when she was young.
Yeah, I had seen pictures of her.
She was a nice little smoke bomb when she was younger. But with that, I'll turn it over to Eric, and he can give his spiel. And thanks to Six Pack Coverage for bringing us on. And cheers to more episodes, playoff episodes, hopefully discussing the Philadelphia Eagles and their run towards the Super Bowl in 2021/2022.
All right. Well, Chris, it's been another great year of doing this podcast with you. I have a lot of fun with it. I'm actually looking forward to watching Patrick, our old third co-host, with his New England Patriots podcast coming out on the Six Pack Coverage Network. And for you wrestling fans out there, keep an eye out for Off the Top Rope Media's Off the Top Rope podcast, hosted by our boy Ty Asbury. He actually has a show already up there on the Six Pack Coverage YouTube channel. What's that? What are you doing?
And you want to tell him who he just interviewed, who will be up on there?
I cannot understand a word you're saying right there.
Do you want to tell them who he just interviewed that will be up on the show in a week?
Yes. Again, for you wrestling fans, especially ECW fans, Ty just interviewed the Queen of Extreme, Francine, yesterday. They've been trying to set this up for weeks.
Oh yeah, I feel like it was like September.
Yeah,
I know it wasn't, but
honestly, it has been her schedule and then technical difficulties. But anyway, there's a lot of good things happening with us on the Philly podcast and the sixpackcoverage.com. Again, I want to thank Andrew for bringing us on. It was for me, it was a late Christmas present when he offered us to hop onto his network. But continue to support the Philly podcast. You find us on Apple and Spotify podcast. Just look for us. It's real simple. The Philly podcast. Download, subscribe, whatever it is you want to do. Just keep doing it to keep us here doing what we're doing just for the hell of it. Because what else do we love to do but talk Eagles football and shit talk on the Cowboys? So with that, I just want to say thank you again, everybody. I want to say thank you to La Terrain Watches for being a sponsor. Go to LaTerrainWatches.com, enter code CEV at checkout for site-wide discounts. And the same for the Monkey'sUncle.net, Monkey'sUncle.net, which is a retro fashion store. Check them out. And also, when you go to check out, use a code like CEV. And you should, I believe they have free shipping on certain orders.
Yeah, free shipping.
Yep, free shipping. So with that, hey, everybody's been watching and commenting. Love you guys. Thanks for tuning in, and see you guys in 2022.
And we're going to end it with this.
That'd be a big blow. 2 running backs out. Off the fake to Boston Scott.